many of the people on here just now found out that they ate Nat Turner when they caught him.
What?
They ate him because they thought they were going to get superpowers because he was killing them.
Oh my god.
They also just found out that there was different types of plantations. It wasn't just picking cotton and tobacco. They had breeding plantations where they bred us like dogs. They had fighting plantations where you would just fight all day. They had cattle plantations where they raised us like animals to eat. They made leather out of our skin.
Oh my god!
They made furniture out of our skin and filled it with our hair. Wait till you find out that George Washington, they told you George Washington had wooden teeth. But that's a lie. His teeth were made out of lead, mercury, and slave teeth. And horse teeth. They used to use us for extra spare body parts. That slavery that they taught you in school is not really what happened, people. I just want y'all to know that.
Is teaching white Americans how white slave owners raped, beat, humiliated, mutilated, murdered, and cannibalized their slaves. Accurate history is teaching that George Washington's false teeth were made out of his slaves' teeth. Accurate history is teaching that Abraham Lincoln may have said some words and signed some shit, but he did not physically do anything to free the slaves. The white abolitionists also often get almost total credit for freeing the slaves. I bet you've never even asked yourself what the slaves were doing to free themselves, and the answer to that is most of the fucking work, including giving the ultimatum of war. But then we get a bunch of white people mad that their kids might feel guilty if we teach real history. It's not about your white child's feelings. Teaching accurate history isn't about white people's feelings, but that does sound like something that someone who's only ever been taught a white glorifying version of history would counter with.
Let her cook.
Ask why we ever felt like we needed to curate a false version of what white people did and did not do to black people to begin with, and then ask yourself why white-ass politicians are verbally attacking real history by calling it slurs, which is, by default, also the act of calling black people slurs.
To get the real deal, text history to 219.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Let's start by giving all glory, honor, praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone to teach and move well. Peace and salutations be to the elect. I'm Brother Tazawam. I'm coming at you from the Prophets of Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. This lesson is going to be going into a quick in transit based upon this video, which your beloved brother Ibar, my camp sent to the chat. Okay. Basically, just going into how these Edomites are sick individuals, man. There's something not right about them. Okay. They gotta, they was eating Jake, man. They was eating Jake, skinning Jake alive, using our skin, for clothing, jackets, furniture, to coat their furniture, and they used our hair to stuff their furniture as though it were cotton or something, man. Okay, they used our hair to stuff their pillows, stuff their blankets, their couches and beds. Okay. And then this video goes in to tell you how they ate Nat Turner. Not sure where he's getting these claims from, but I'm sure they're factual. Knowing Esau, there's no putting it past him, man. Okay. But they supposedly ate Nat Turner, thinking that they would get superpowers just by eating his fleshly parts, because he ended up killing 55 of them. All right. So they consider him to be they consider him to be a man with superpowers, man. Okay. 55 Edomites, that's a feat. The Lord had to allow that to happen. But these Edomites were so amazed and so stoked by this that they decided to cut him up and make souvenirs out of him to keep him as a trophy, or to keep his body parts as keep his body parts as souvenirs and trophies and memorials. Okay, to them this was a hero amongst Jake. Okay, they looked at this man as though he was actual superhuman. Okay, they was using his teeth, all those things, man. All right, but the things that they did to Jake back in the day was just horrific. You got the lady at the end of the video who goes into you to tell you how they want to erase history because they don't want their children to feel ashamed for the sins of their fathers. Okay, well, the scripture, let me grab you, let's show you what the scripture says in Isaiah 14:21. It says, prepare slaughter. Salakia is taking me to a whole new link. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21. In the NLT, kill this man's children. Let them die because of their father's sins. They must not rise and conquer the earth, filling the world with their cities. So, you see what happened. These devils rose and conquered the earth. And now you have them filling the face of the world with their cities. Everywhere you go, there's a McDonald's, man. Alright, and this is nothing but death and destruction inside of that place. You go through the drive-thru and order your own death. Okay, and pay for it too. NIV, prepare a place to slaughter his children for the sins of their ancestors. They are not to rise to inherit the land and cover the earth with their cities. Okay? So, you see what's been going on, man. Right? These little Edomites, these baby Edomites got to get it too. Okay, you don't want them to learn about this history because you're ashamed, as it says in Obadiah. Matter of fact, let me grab it. Because this is all scriptural. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse. Alright. That's so annoying. Book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Salakia, slip of the tongue. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. So for his violence, this devil's violence against us, shame is covering this devil now. Now he wants to blot slavery out of history. But you just had your president bring it up. He said birthright citizenship is going to be done away with. Birthright citizenship came into play because for the sake of the slaves. Okay, so these devils know what they've done. All right, and I'm pretty sure this was this cut a lot of Edomites to the bone, talking about the Lord loves everybody. Okay, we should all be equal, we should all love everybody and cherish everybody. But where was the love when you was kicking our damn backs in, man, skinning us alive, pulling our hair out of our heads, scalping us, and using our hair for your furniture? Okay, for your comfort. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. So they are ashamed. That's why they don't want their children to learn about it. That's why they're voting for this thing to be erased out of the history books. They trying to hide their own shame. All of a sudden, this is becoming a shameful thing to them now. You know, because times are modernizing. Everybody's, becoming cool with each other. And now, here it is. These little Edomite babies got to grow up to learn about the wickedness of their forefathers. You gotta know that the Lord gonna pay you back for that. Okay, because some point in their lives they're gonna come across some scriptures saying that they gotta pay for what they done. Saying that Galatians. Okay, matter of fact, let me grab that Galatians real quick, because this is what they're gonna come across some point in their life. Okay, and if they don't come across this scripture, they're gonna come across the proverb that people say, which is roughly paraphrasing the scripture. Okay. But let me finish this up. It says, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So they're going to be cut off forever, man. Okay? That shame going to hit you hard, especially in the kingdom. And then you're going to be cut off forever. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived. YAHAWASHI is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Whatever you sow, you're going to also pay for it. So these devils, they gonna also pay, which the proverb they use is, karma is a bitch, or you get what you put out. Okay, you know, there's many proverbs and different ways of them going about it, different ways of them saying it, but it all ties back to the scripture. That's where they get it. This is where they get it from. Okay, be not deceived. YAHAWASHI is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You love to say the universe is gonna bring it back to you. No, it's the Lord bringing it back to you. The Lord is a just power. You're gonna pay for what you've done, whether it be good or whether it be bad. You got to pay for it. Okay, there's a cause and effect to everything in this world. Okay, an action and a reaction. All right. But you're gonna come across this one time in your life, and then these devils let us say, I didn't have slaves. Well, but your dad did, your father did. You know, I wasn't, you know, me personally in this lifetime wasn't in hardcore bondage and slavery. Okay, where they was whipping our backs for not moving fast enough, whatever it may be. They was whooping our asses. I wasn't in that hardcore slavery and bondage, man. I'm in slavery now today still, yeah, but I wasn't there when they was getting whipped and had to run off the plantation. No, but guess what? I do suffer from it today. Okay, because of my ancestors were in that hardcore slavery and bondage, I can't seem to get up on my feet. All right, and that's it. That's how it is for all, Jake. All of our forefathers were oppressed. Okay, they were stripped and poverty stricken. Okay, full of diseases and heavily oppressed. So here it is. All Jake is suffering for it today. And then you got these baby Edomites talking about, you know, when you grew up in the school, you got these Edomites chewing you for being poor, chewing you for wearing the same outfit twice in the same week. Okay, but I just going to show you that you still suffering from the oppression of your forefathers, and these devils are still benefiting from the slavery that they put us through, that their forefathers put us through. Okay, therefore, it's only right that you also got to pay for the sins of your forefathers. Right? They did this to benefit you, to extend their name in the earth. Okay, now it's got to be cut short. Scriptures say, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Because look what they did to us. They used our baby. They will cut our pregnant woman's bellies open, pull the child out, slam him on his head, and use him as alligator bait, man. Stump the baby out. They'll do all sorts of things to us, man. All sorts of torments, all sorts of violence. Okay, these devils are sick, and it was all for their own entertainment. I want to see how long it takes for a nigger to die by getting eaten alive by ants. They were throwing us in ant piles, man, and watched us suffer. They'll whip our backs blue. Okay, they'll whip the flesh off our backs, and our backs will be so hardened from the bruises that it'll feel like leather. Okay, they'll whip the flesh off our backs, and as soon as they whip the flesh off our backs, they'll throw our ass in a hot ass metal container. Okay, to sit there and sizzle on that fucking sizzle on our sores, and then they'll throw hot water on our sores, whatever it may be, man. It's like throwing salt on the wounds, man. They'll throw salt on our wounds, man. You can't imagine what they were doing to us. Okay, these devils are having a field day on Jake. So when the time comes, you best believe you're gonna have to pay for these things. All right, grab this and close out. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 14. No, Salakia, wrong scripture. Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So this devil's soul which is lifted up in him is not upright. Right? There's something not right about this guy, man. Here it is. He's the only person in the earth that's infatuated with death, with blood. Okay? They can't see enough blood. They need more. They need to see something else. They got to see the blood of your children and your children's children. Okay? They want to eat you. They want to be inside of you. They want to wear you. It's not enough that they're killing us. All right? So these devils got hell to pay, man. But without a truly help, this lesson was edifying to you. I cannot watch for listening to truth and sincerity. So next time, Yahshua, I give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, Shalom.